Hello, everybody. Welcome to my podcast. Today in Buckets of Love, we're going to talk about the romance bucket. Now, the romance bucket is usually very full at the beginning when we first meet. We're so in love, and everyone's being really romantic and doing lovely things for each other. There's flowers and chocolates and rose petals on the bed, and everyone's kind of kissing and hugging. And the romance bucket is usually quite full at the beginning of the relationship, of the love relationship, because love and romance go together. We aren't usually romantic in that way with our friends. We're kind to them and do things, but the romance bucket usually goes with a love relationship. For some people, this bucket's really important. For other people, not so. But at the beginning, most people actually indulge in this bucket and do what is socially acceptable in the romance bucket. And they're on a high, so they're doing lots of it, and it's very cute and very sweet. However, once we get into the relationship, some of these things can fall off, and there's less romance because there's more time spent at work, and we might have a family now, or we've got a house to upkeep, and things are different, and we're now living together. So because there's more closeness, and also because even though we're not living together, we're in a relationship, the romance bucket can fall away quite quickly, and you might not notice it at first because now you're re-establishing the relationship on another level. But it can actually eat into the relationship quite a bit if one person is very romantic and the other person just stops doing it. The reason is because when you first start, if you're a romantic person and you like the romance and you're with someone and they're doing that, you will think that they're like that because your bucket's being filled. However, if the person you're with now, after a while, is no longer romantic, you're going to really feel the loss of that bucket. Because you might still be doing romantic, nice, sweet things for them, and yet they're not doing anything back. And if they do, it's a little bit begrudging. It's not like it's really coming from the heart. It's important to work out if this is a bucket that affects you and affects your relationship or not. For some people, they are very romantic. They'll both be romantic and it works. Sometimes one of you is actually more romantic. The other one was just being romantic to further the relationship, and now they've just got you and they've just dropped all that. You can forget about the flowers and the chocolates. That's not going to be happening. And the other one is when you're in a relationship with someone and this bucket isn't very important to either of you. Perhaps at the beginning you did a few things, but it's not really your thing. And that works if you both don't want to have a lot of romance and it's not important to you. Well, that's fine. But I'm talking about the bucket in terms of it being important to you and having that bucket filled. It's very important if you're a romantic person that you fill the other person's bucket, and you will get lots of joy from doing that. Little notes and all the special heart cake you got for Valentine's Day or whatever, and you really enjoy this part of the relationship and you put a lot of effort into the relationship. You get little cards for them, these little things on their pillow. When you're out, you want to give them a special kiss on the bridge, or sit in the sunset together because it's romantic. If you are away or even at your own house, you'll put the candles on, and if you're having a spa together or a bath together, you've got the petals in there and the music's playing. If you're that person, you can fulfill your romantic part of the relationship. You can keep the bucket quite full. However, now you're in a union, you actually do need the other person to do it too. And if you land up being the one doing all the time, or they land up being the one doing it all the time, there will become an imbalance. And there'll also become, it won't really work. I think it stops working after a while. It has to be the two of you doing it or the two of you not doing it. But one doing it and the other not doing it won't work. It's important also to understand what is romantic for you. And I think it's something you could sit and talk to your partner about, what you see as romantic, because everyone's different. Maybe you love getting flowers, but don't like getting lollies and chocolates much. Maybe you do like giving gifts. Perhaps you do like the candlelight and the romantic dinners. Maybe your partner likes something different. Maybe they like it when they think it's romantic when you make them a cake or you give them a foot massage. For different people, it will be different things, and that's where open dialogue will be good. You both sit down and actually talk to each other about this, and also talk about how important it is for you. The problem comes when one person's doing most of the work and not getting any feedback or anything back, and it's not really valued, and that's going to dent your relationship. And after a while, you'll get somewhat resentful because it's always one person doing it, and the one who does it will get a bit cheesed off in the end doing everything and not having their bucket full. You don't need a lot of money for the romantic one. It's sitting in the sunset and saying lovely things to each other and having a kiss and sharing a bottle of wine. It's sitting out in the garden together and doing something romantic at night, perhaps sitting out and making a little blanket out on the back lawn. The kids have gone to sleep and you put some candles out there and you lie it on the back lawn. And it can be, romance can be something you do with no money. It doesn't always have to be a big, $80 flower arrangement that arrives. The Valentine's Day is often significant for people. You need to talk about that, whether you want to actually be part of it. You may both want to or not. And I think it's important before Valentine's turns up that you talk about what you're going to do so that one partner isn't disappointed. It is a man-made anniversary. It is a consumer goods anniversary, but you can convert it and still do your own personal low-key Valentine's Day. You don't have to go and buy the flowers that are now going to cost 3 times as much. You can make each other a cake or just have a nice meal that night at home. You can still celebrate that you're in love. Valentine's Day is a day of lovers, and that's why it's important that's its significance. It's not really about the gifts in the cards. It was just a day where you told somebody, usually in the beginning anonymously, that you love them, but now you're with them, you tell them. If you are feeling your romance bucket is being neglected, talk to the person and see if you can find ways to show each other romantic things or say romantic things or find out from each other what it is and start to fill it, because it's very strongly connected to the love bucket, and that's the bucket you really want to keep strong, and it's an expression of love. Romance is actually an expression of love. You want to keep expressing that love to the other person in a way that makes them feel good and actually fortifies your relationship. We don't have to do it the conventional way. We don't have to even spend lots of money, but we do need to do it if it's important. I don't think it's a thing that you can change in your nature. If you're a romantic person, you pretty much will be that. If you're not a romantic person, you can teach yourself to do it if it's important for your partner. And that's what I want you to understand, that this is something that you can write down what you're supposed to do and you can learn how to do it and you can do it. And if you love someone, you want to please them, so you just do it. If it makes them happy and it fills their bucket, and in a certain way it's filling your bucket, then just do it. Don't be stubborn. Some people get kind of stubborn with this one, like, don't tell me what to do and I'll do what I want and whatever. But this isn't the time to be stubborn. This is the time to be loving and to be giving and to be generous and to give the person what they need. It's important because it's a little bit like the glue that holds the relationship together too, because we don't show our romantic side to other people, you see. Like, you're not going to buy people lovely underwear or sit in bed with them and have champagne and chocolates. You're only going to do that with your love partner. So it is something that is separate to other relationships, and that's why you need to really embrace it and enjoy it and do it and help it to feed, because it actually feeds into all your other buckets. And make an effort, really, really make an effort. I feel that it's a lot to do with making an effort and not being dogged and stuck and not wanting to do it because it's not your thing. You can make it your thing. If the other person is doing it and you're not doing it, you can change. We can all change. We can be different. This is what it's all about. Everything's always changing in this world. That's what the only thing that's permanent is change, actually. That change just keeps happening. And I think this is something you might want to really look at. I think it's an important part of the love relationship, and that's why I think you should talk to your partner and really make this one work, whichever way that is for you. So I'm wishing you love with your romance. You can probably tell by my voice I'm quite a romantic person and I like it. But the reason I really like it is because it's an expression of love, and I love to express love. So in my love relationship, I really liked doing this part. I found it was really beautiful, actually, and I hope you find that too.